In the news this week, shark fears debates ignited again over whether drum lines can save lives.
Also, the Prime Minister visits Western Australia but fails to address vital issues. And police officers past the present are recognised for the sacrifices they've made in the community.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Leong and Elise Simic.
Good evening. Should we kill sharks? That's the question everyone is asking after Federal Environment Minister Josh Frydenberg criticised the state government for not implementing the drumline policy. Local activists have rejected the criticism and says the shark cull makes no environmental sense. Taylor Hannah has the story.
The shark debate has erupted again after Federal Environment Minister Josh Frydenberg accused the state government of not doing enough to prevent shark attacks. He said drumlines should be used to protect citizens and restore the WA way of life. This is not the first time Frydenberg has made these sorts of comments, with the Fisheries Minister remaining firm on the shark debate.
What we want to do is we want to deal with it based on science. The previous government's strategy of a shark cull using baited drumlines and the like clearly didn't work.
Managing Director of Sea Shepherd, Jeff Hansen, agrees with Mr Kelly, arguing that drumlines and shark nets are a false sense of security that wipe out other marine life.
It's absolute insanity. There's non-lethal alternatives, there's shark shields, there's shark spotters programs, there's the ASAP pack in case there is an incident. There's so much more that we can do. But why should we be looking at a 1930s technology for a 2017 issue?
Mr Hansen said the sharks are attracted to the ever-increasing populations of humpback whales, seals and orcas. If the sharks are culled, it will disrupt important marine ecosystems. Taylor Hannah, WAMN News.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull's visit to Western Australia has led to more disappointment as the GST share issue remains unsolved. Students protested against the cut on penalty rates at Curtin University before Senator Matthias Cormann's speech. Reporter Nelson Liu joins us now. It seems Mr Cormann would prefer to be anywhere in Perth but Curtin University.
Well, he certainly wouldn't like the yelling and screaming as students gathered to protest at Matthias Cormann's planned speaking engagement here in Perth this week. The Federal Finance Minister was at Curtin University to discuss the federal government's plan for strengthening the economy, but students are unhappy about cuts to penalty rates and uni fee increases. Students say it's an attack on young people.
They've just cut our penalty rates, which many students rely on, obviously working weekends in retail and hospitality, things like that. And they also have plans to massively cut education funding by $2.8 billion.
The GST issue is still on the agenda, but it seems that nothing much will change anytime soon.
Absolutely. It's been a long week for Malcolm Turnbull on his trip to WA and Mark McGowan after some name-calling during the week over the long-running GST issue.
I'm disappointed, very disappointed there's not a resolution for Western Australia. This is a difficult issue for us to grapple with. We now have a $2 billion hole in our budget.
Federal Treasurer Scott Morrison says it's no deal to a larger share based off data from last year's census, but the Prime Minister's indicated the federal government remains committed to the state with new infrastructure projects.
It is a sign, a testament, an absolute demonstration of our commitment to putting dollars to work to build more infrastructure in Western Australia in partnership with the state government.
That's all from me. Back to you.
Nelson, thanks. Hundreds took part in the pro-same-sex marriage protest as the equality campaign gains momentum. Demonstrators argued that Australia should take the plunge and support the cause after countries such as Taiwan and Germany recently legalised same-sex marriage. Activists are urging politicians to support the bill without delay.
Turnbull's got a number of issues that he's having to deal with at the moment, so probably my biggest advice to him is let's get the issue of equal marriage off the table. Bring it to a vote, let people have a free vote in Parliament. He needs to grant his members that opportunity, and then we can finally have equal marriage.
The Royal Lifesaving Society has called for more parents and carers of children to learn CPR and first aid, after new research revealed many West Australian parents were untrained in the life-saving skill. A survey conducted by the organisation showed only 25% of WA parents with children under the age of 5 years old had completed CPR training in the past 12 months.
Unfortunately, when we're talking about toddler drowning prevention, it's a parent or carer who's often the first person to respond in these instances. So the fact that they don't have the skills to perform a rescue or CPR is very concerning.
After 55 years of educating the local community, Hamilton Senior High School is set to close at the end of the year. There are discussions as to whether the school should be demolished to make way for a new residential development. A local town hall meeting was held and the mayor encouraged the community to put forward their opinions and determine what to do with the site.
There's always a bit of mixture. There was a community forum held in November last year. People were asked to say what they would like to see on the site itself. A lot of people said retain trees, retain some of the buildings, and generally mixed views from people.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has reshuffled his cabinet following a decline of support from voters. Amongst the 19 ministers, 14 are new to the ministry. Analysts believe the move was triggered by plans to push forward economic reform in Japan at a time when the government was engulfed in scandals. US President Donald Trump has rejected suggestions that Russia interfered with the 2016 election by calling the allegation a total fabrication. He then hit back, accusing his rivals in the Democratic Party of having no agenda and no vision. Mr. Trump also defended the results, arguing that he won based on voters' support.
And finally, this week, some of WA's police officers were awarded with a Distinguished Police Star during the inaugural ceremony at the Joondalup Police Academy. The award was presented to 78 recipients in recognition of officers killed or seriously injured in the line of duty. It's a moment that many medically retired officers have been long awaiting, and the Commissioner apologised for taking so long to recognise these officers' contributions.
They know the sacrifice that has been made, and I think it's some recompense to them to know that the police service and the state of Western Australia have recognised what their family member has gone through.
We raised this subject probably about 3 years ago with the Commissioner and with the police union. They've all taken it on board, and it's taken 3 years, but a journey well travelled.
And those are the top stories you need to know this week.
You can catch the latest news on our website and Facebook. See you next week.
Have a wonderful evening. Good night.